2 outside casings, then the 4 screws on the fan unit come out. Loves this gray stuff. And do not miss the screw in the crank. As you can see, there are 3 screws in the board that need to come out. At this point, it's worthwhile removing the connectors. Taking photos of that combination right there. Zip ties need to be removed up there so it'll come out. Now you can see the 3 screws, pretty obvious. Making sure you keep the washers on the screws from the previous installation. Also making sure you set the dip stitches, those the same on the new one. Before, and the dip switch is in, connect the other wires, then put the 5 screws back in the plate, making sure the wires are in behind the fan spinning units. And before doing too much, check with the controls to make sure it goes up and down. Then get ready to call support because it goes up and down and the fan doesn't turn on. Similar problems I've seen reported online when there's a color mismatch with the PCP ports. So we'll be sending a message out to AirXcel on that.
Does it matter?
Make sure the connectors are all connected tight and test it with it hanging, and everything is working fine. There must have been a loose connection here. I must not have had this in snug all the way, or possibly sliding it up in there. There was a wire pinching a connector or something. We'll screw it back together and make sure it works again. And turn it off. With the 4 screws inserted, work on putting the crank screw back in, and then you probably shouldn't do this while it's running. So we'll do that, shut it off. Then put the screen on and the crank. Crank is there. working backwards from the way we unconnected everything. The crank went in there, and then the screen. It's easier to get these thumb holes without the plastic shielding around the edge. So put the screen back in with the shielding out, then try to put the shielding back in. Before screwing this in, we will check it one more time for operation because it does rub against the wires pretty hard. And we get our helper to handle our screws. And try carefully to put these back in the same holes they came out of. And since I didn't pay attention, I'll put the shroud back in the wrong corners, so we'll take it back down, rotate it once, and put it back in. Always best to check to make sure you're not making new holes. I'm going to screw my helpers again. So the rumors that the boards are color coded have been disproved. We've replaced the black board with a green board, and it is operational. It was a loose wire to start with. Checked the reconnections and tested it hanging. Everything works. All screws back in place tight, and the unit should lift and rise completely with on and offs. And turn it back on by fan speed. And repaired.